Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Insight with Ayo. Today's topic is why life insurance is non-negotiable, really. Or should I say, why there's no excuse for you to not have life insurance. Now, for some of you watching this episode, this is going to be the first time you ever heard about life insurance. For others, this is going to be the 100th time. And, it's probably something that you've been thinking about, but you just haven't quite got around to yet. And you've probably got some misconceptions or mythical ideas about it. In this episode, it's not even going to be long. I'm just going to get straight into the point and tell you what it really is. There's no excuse to not have life insurance. This. Everyone watching this knows that they're going to pass away at some point. Everyone watching this knows someone that's lost a loved one at some point. So the one thing that you do know is that it's going to cost money. That's just the reality of it. Now, why there's no excuse to not have life insurance is this. You can spend any amount that you want. And here are the scenarios, the inevitable scenarios that play out for everyone. One, you have life insurance, meaning that when you pass away, your family receives a tax-free inheritance of anywhere from 5 figures and more. Option 2, you decide to not have life insurance, and now your family have to go out of pocket. So that means that they've got to find the money to bury you from within. So, they've either got to do some sort of fundraiser, they've got to go and dip into their own savings, what have you. And then option 3, you don't have life insurance at all. And unfortunately, your family inherits all your debts and they don't have any savings at the point when you pass away. So now they've got to do stuff like crowdfund, beg on GoFundMe, and all these things that essentially you don't want them doing. Essentially, that is it in a nutshell. Life insurance is there to protect you or to protect your family when you pass away and give them a lump sum. So let's think about it. If you were to say, right, I'm going to have a policy that makes sure that my family gets anywhere from $500,000 or 100 grand plus. That's your family inheriting, 6 figures at the point of death. Something that's inevitable to happen. Something that it's going to happen. And bear in mind, the funeral home's always going to collect in full, regardless. It doesn't matter how you get the money. It doesn't matter if it's from your savings. It doesn't matter if your family have to borrow. The funeral home will always collect. So the question is, why wouldn't you want your death to be something that propels the next generation forward financially? And rather, why would you want your death to be something that sets your family back financially? Do you know what I mean? Imagine you're not here no more and now your family are still paying off your funeral for the next 4 and 5 years. That's crazy. You're costing your family money when you're not here, when you could be using that inevitable event to essentially let the next generation become more financially secure, more financially free. And one of the biggest misconceptions is that, okay, let's say I wanted to do this, but it's going to be expensive. It doesn't have to be. Everyone should have had life insurance like yesterday. The youngest you can be to get life insurance is 18 years old, and that's the cheapest it's going to be. The way life insurance works is very simple. The older you get and the more unhealthy you get, the more expensive it gets. So the cheapest it's ever going to be is today for you. If you don't have life insurance and you're watching this video today, this is the cheapest it's ever going to be. Then the next part, okay, let's say, I only wanted to spend X amount and I could get a policy. What about the process? You're telling me that these people are just going to give my family money when I die? Yes, it's that simple. It literally, as long as you're honest on the application, as long as you've declared what you need to declare. So for example, if you have any underlying health issues and you've made them aware beforehand, no problem. If you're fully healthy, even better. It's literally that simple. And the process itself is so straightforward. You are going to answer the most basic questions that you've ever been asked in your life. It's easier for you to leave £1 million in inheritance for your family than it is for you to buy property. As funny as that sounds. Literally, you're just going to answer questions like, what's your name? What's your age? What's your height? What's your weight? And it's just a big game of have you ever? Have you ever had cancer? Have you ever had a stroke? Have you ever had a list of health issues? Who's your GP? Who do you want to leave the money to? What's the percentage split? Case closed, you're done. Just pay your direct debits on time. It's literally the easiest way to buy wealth. Having life insurance is essentially you saying, right, I'm taking a monthly direct debit to make sure that when I die, my family are financially set. That simple. So if you look at it, it's going to take you years to build £1 million business. However, you could buy £1 million essentially in 45 minutes. It's that real. And that's why it's not advertised. Because think about it. Why is it that you only see stuff like over 50s life insurance plans? Or you only see stuff about car insurance, but you don't generally see adverts about life insurance? Because life insurance is going to set up your family, whereas car insurance isn't. And over 50s plans, you're older now. So you're probably going to get a lower payout and it's going to cost you more. So it's not in their best interest to advertise it and say, right, you should get this as young as possible, because it means that you're going to pay as little as possible and get the biggest payouts as possible, which is in your best interest, not theirs. So that's why it's non-negotiable, because why? It's something that everybody could get, as long as you're over the age of 18, of course. And this is something that's going to set up the future generation. So just imagine to yourself, when your grandparents pass away, or if they've passed away already, imagine at that moment you received an inheritance. Then imagine, every time someone passes away in your family or someone that you know, every time, you end up at a funeral, that family is receiving 6 figures tax-free. It's something that's going to happen anyway. Now, again, one of the biggest misconceptions people have is that they think that life insurance is something for someone that's planning to die soon. It's not a dying soon, it's a when I die. So, for example, I have clients that are 18, 20, 22. They've secured their financial future for the next 70 plus years. So they've said, right, I'm going to take this policy out now while I'm young so that it's as cheap as possible. And as a result, if anything happens to me between now and the age of 90, my family gets a high 6-figure payout. So it's not about dying young. It's just about securing it young so that you get the best deal possible. In terms of what you're probably thinking, is it complicated? No, it's simple questions being answered. The biggest commitment that you have to do is finding the time to sit down with an advisor like myself. That's it. How much do I have to spend? Completely up to you. Literally completely up to you. You could go anywhere from £5 a month all the way to 50 grand a month if you wanted to. It is completely up to you. Is it difficult? No. The questions are simple. Again, health questions only, and questions that you know the answers to. What's your email address? What's your name? What's your address? There's no question that you would require extensive preparation for. You know all the answers to the questions, and it's just that simple. So if you're thinking, okay, cool, do you know what, Ayo, you're right, I've seen people pass away. I've seen the fact that people are struggling to raise funds for this funeral, family division, WhatsApp group chats, people not speaking to people ever again because, money's the center of the biggest issue in that discussion. I don't want that for my family. I want to make sure that my family's not on GoFundMe because of me. How do I get started? Literally, all you'd have to do, click the link below, book time with me, get your consultation done. It's absolutely free. And all you have to do between now and then is decide what you're comfortable spending on a monthly basis for the rest of your life to make sure that your family aren't in a position where they're financially destitute because you've passed away and not sorted your life out. It's that simple. So if you don't want to die for free, click the link below. Let's get the process done. Once you sorted it out, you never have to think about it again. It's that simple. All you have to do is pay your direct debits on time, live your life, and do what you do best. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Not having life insurance is unacceptable. You should have life insurance. You know you need to have life insurance. You don't need to waste any more time. Get it done now whilst you can so that there's no regrets and live your life peacefully and not have to worry about dying. So thanks for tuning in again to Insight with Ayo. I'm your host, Ayo Noble, your favorite financial advisor. Peace, and I'll see you again another time.